Alright, so I've never gone live before. I was out here recording a video and I realized I really had no idea what I wanted to say. But I guess the topic of this is what do you do when you're successful in a company? You own the company. Um, and you're not satisfied with how you feel about about your job, about your work. What do you do to what do you do to change it up? How do you find how do you find what you want to do? Because I'm not gonna lie, working working so many years to build a skill that you really don't enjoy using as a means of an income. So what do you do in that situation? I've tried a lot of things. I've been in the military. I've done construction. I've worked at universities. I've worked at grocery stores. Back in the day, I've done all kind of stuff, and I have a really hard time figuring out what it is I want to do. They always say, "Oh, I want to be this when I grow up." Well, I guess I haven't grown up yet fully because I just can't figure it out. I've figured out friends, I've figured out family, I've figured out children, all that is good to go, and yet I find it hard to find motivation to continue to do what I'm doing. Obviously, money is a motivation, but what do you do to figure it out? If y'all got any tips or anything, let me know. I know nobody's on here right now. This is kind of a trial run. I've never gone live, never done anything. I'm not real big on social media or anything like that, so I'm kind of old school, I guess you would say. But I'm just looking for something else. I've grown bud. I've operated this construction company. Like I said, I've done a ton of different things, and yet here I am still unhappy in what I do every day. So I really don't know what avenue to take at this point. um, I'm obviously going to operate another business. I'm obviously going to have other companies running, but doing the real estate, the flipping the houses, the hustle and bustle of all that, trying to find good help. That's a really hard thing because if the help is good, the help doesn't want to show up. Uh, if the help shows up, half the time they really don't know what they're doing. So you're in a bad position of the only thing the customer cares about is my business name. That's it. So every person that shows up on their job site, that shows up at their house to do work, is a representation of my business. And so I've been successful. I'm still successful. I don't advertise. I've had people call me all day today. Um, but I'm unhappy. I don't want to do it anymore. I want to do something else. And I just don't know how to get there. It's hard being an entrepreneur when everyone around you is wrapped up in the standard way of living. Everyone wants to, go work a 9 to 5, come home and do what they want to do for fun. But I've never been good at that. I've never, I've never fitted into an accord at a company, I guess. So I don't even know what I came on here to ask. I was going to record a short video and upload it, but I was just kind of rambling, just kind of going on. I don't really have an exact, path that I'm going on with this little live, but I'd like to hope that there's someone out there that's kind of in my same position You know, maybe you've spent most of your life doing something, and you turn around and you find out it's kind of a waste, because you get to the end of the line where you're supposed to be successful and you're supposed to be happy. And so what have y'all done? What is, I mean, anybody that's watching this, please feel free to reach out. And you know I'm never against, I guess what you call a coach. I'm not real big on watching all these YouTube videos and whatnot on coaching and all that, but I do believe that within YouTube there is a big community of people that want to help other people. And I've never been one for a handout, but a little advice on which direction to go. you know who knows, man? Maybe someone will reach out and say, hey, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to try, you need to think of it this way instead of that way. There's all kind of stuff, but it's hard when you talk to people about what you have going on, and everyone is just, oh, well, you should be happy, you're your own boss, you have your own schedule, you have all these freedoms, you have all this stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, but if I'm not on the job site, I'm not getting paid. Now, that could work if I was willing to lower the quality of the product that I give to the customer. I could just hire anybody and just do anything. But it's hard because outside of construction, I've always been a day late and a dollar short. So you never really know. Yeah, I mean, JD, I agree with you. That is also, I feel like that's one of my greatest achievements, is having a happy, healthy marriage and having two healthy children who are excelling at school and who are doing well and don't really cause us a lot of problems, like me and my wife did for our, respective parents when we were kids. But that is my greatest achievement is my children and my marriage. But that can't always fill everything that you're looking for. So everyone wants to feel happy or successful in what they do for a living, and some people just don't care. you know Me, on the other hand, it means a lot to me what I do and how I provide and things like that. And taking a pay cut's not really an issue, I would say. I'm not really concerned about that too much. We live within our means pretty well, and I'm just an old redneck, so I don't really need a lot. I say I don't need a lot to be happy, but then every time I get a chance, I buy something else that I probably don't need. But if you could just share your experience with me, just tell me what you do, what you've done to get there, how it's changed your life, thinking outside the box, trying to have a little more freedom. I want to hear from people, and I know I don't really have followers on here or whatever. What is it you would like to do? We'll see. That's kind of my big thing. I've grown plants before. I really enjoyed that. That's kind of a hard market to pitch, because it's such a low entry fee. There's not really a lot of cost associated with starting that up. I've done metal 3D printing for university, so I've worked on advanced technologies, and you got to have a lot up front to kind of operate things like that. And while I do have a nest egg set aside, it's not for investing. I don't have millions to invest, which is what you would need to open up a kind of a prototyping facility or something like that. But I think I don't know. I think I may, and this sounds crazy, I think I might get into growing like microgreens or something like that. And it's not even for the money. You see all these videos, oh, get rich quick, do this, do that, and that's not really a viable thing in business. Anyone who gets rich quick in business either had a great idea, or they had already struggled for years and years and years to even get their idea out. So what I want to do is kind of eluding me at this point. I don't really know. I know I don't want to do construction, though I do still purchase real estate. I do, I do still want to flip my own homes, all of that. All that's great. But I've got to find a way to bring my stress down, just my everyday stress in life. And I feel like working with something that, maybe plants, maybe it's trees, who knows, but I think I want to grow. I already have all the equipment. I'm an old school stoner, so of course when they said you could grow, I was like, oh yeah, I'll grow. And then it turned out well. I was successful at that, not in a business aspect, but just in the growing in general. But I guess I'm worried. I've been through a lot of employees this year, hiring people just based off of their word and their claimed skill that they have. So I've had to hire and fire a lot of people this year, and that's kind of taken a toll on me. Live went down. Whether you see it as, say your manager fired you at a job and you thought he was just an asshole for it, and 9 times out of 10, that supervisor is likely having a hard time doing that. No one really wants to be a bad guy to another person. But at the end of the day, I've got a business to run, and if you can't do what we agreed on, then that's kind of on you at that point. But it still takes a toll on you. I'm responsible for other people's well-being. I'm responsible for how they provide for their family, all types of things like that. And I just don't know that I want to do that anymore. And I'm thinking that while I don't know what I want to do, I know I'm going to own the company when I do it. So I guess the real question is, what are the types of people that I would like in my workforce? Like who are the types of people? Because I can tell you right now, construction, you don't really have a pick of the litter most of the time, if that makes any sense. You kind of get what you can get, because anyone who has the skill that I have, anyone that can paint, drywall, flooring, custom trim, cabinets, countertops, faucets, the whole 9 yards. I do everything in a house, and the people that are capable of doing that are already doing it for themselves. So the pool of employees that you have to take from is people who can't do well, who lie about their skill, who don't show up to work. It's those people who, end up coming and saying, oh, I can do this. I've got 10 years experience. It's going to be great. It's fine. I know this like the back of my hand. And then it just doesn't turn out like that. So I guess what I really need to do is, I really need to think of a business concept that, requires employees, but doesn't necessarily require skilled employees, if that makes sense. It's a lot easier to find people that want to show up for work than it is to find people who know what they're doing when they get there, if that makes sense. So you can have John shows up every day, doesn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, and a little bit of it makes you thankful that he even showed up. But then at the end of the day, the quality and everything that's put out is just not there. And I don't mean to say I want to hire unskilled people. I just think that the career I'm in maybe requires too much skill for someone who's going to be an employee and not just an entrepreneur out on their own. So I don't know. I came out here. I've got 2 active job sites today. Things are going. I can't be on site every day. I work 7 days a week most of the time, and I just had to take today. Got a lot of thoughts going through my head, and not real sure what my exit strategy is. I don't know. It's kind of weird getting on a live. This is the first time I've ever done this, so who wants to look at my old goofy face, but I've gotta find different ways to have an outlet to talk with people. You can reach a lot more people on the internet, entrepreneurs, self-thinkers, things like that. I have a few friends around town who are also entrepreneurs, so I've been talking with them, but they're in their respective field. They're doing their thing in their field, and then all of my other friends are in real estate. Everybody I know is in real estate, and that makes it hard. Makes it hard to get out of real estate when everybody is doing it. But I've been doing it a lot longer than they have, and I haven't had as much, I guess, luck finding good employees, so I haven't scaled much. But I flip anywhere from 6 to 8 houses a year. So I mean, it's good money, but I don't really care about money. That's not. I started my business to have freedom, and now honestly I feel like I have a little less freedom than I've ever had, just because so many people rely on my answers and my work actually on the site. So what do you do? What do you do in this situation? My buddies tell me to quit bitching and go to work. And that's easy to say when it's not your life, and you don't know what that person deals with in that life every day. So hey man, I appreciate that. I'm definitely just a regular dude, and you spend your whole life being told, oh, you're not a real man if you don't do this, or you're not a real man if you don't do that. If you're not working a construction job, oh, if you're not breaking your back every day, you're not a real man. Well, I've got older teenage children. I own my own home. I've done all of the real man things. So at this point, I'm tired of thinking that the only way for me to be a real man is to beat the shit out of my body. Like, why would I do that at this point? Especially when you see so many people around that, just don't have to. It's not that they're smarter or anything like that, but they just figured out their path earlier. And, we'll all get there. Maybe not today, but we'll get there eventually. And JD, back and forth with me here, so I will do more lives. They don't really, I don't really know. I ramble a lot, so maybe a live is good for me, because I can't make a short unless I'm yelling at a job site. So we'll see. But I'm gonna hop off here for now. If anybody seeing this has any words of wisdom, just holler at me and let me know. Hope y'all have a good day. And I don't know how to end this thing, so